Hello children. In this activity we're going to look at Kinver Edge and the wildlife that lives and grows on Kinver Edge. This is a quote from the National Trust's own website. This is how they describe the life that teems up on Kinver Edge. The air of Kinver Edge hums with life. Birds and butterflies fly by day, while bats and hundreds of moth species swoop through the skies at night. So did you know that this fragile heathland habitat is home to many rare species, and more familiar plants and animals can be found in the surrounding woodland? Much of the landscape is designated Site of Special Scientific Interest for its ecological importance. Basically, that means that it is really, really important and very special. So we're going to have a look at some of the different categories and groups of wildlife that's up there, and I'll read through this with you. So there's reptiles. There are 4 types of reptiles that live on the heath. Common lizard, slow worm and grass snake can often be spotted basking in the sun, and if you're very lucky you may catch a glimpse of the adder with their distinctive zigzag pattern. Generally, many of these species are quite frightened of humans and won't be very wanting to be very close to you. I have seen a slow worm once on the edge, which was quite interesting. I know that might appeal and interest to lots of you to think about some of these reptiles. Bats. So the rock houses aren't totally uninhabited. The human residents may have moved out, but rare lesser horseshoe bats have a winter roost here. They're furthest north in the country, so you can listen for them on the bat detectors at the rock house reception between October and April. Natterers and long brown-eared bats are amongst those that live in the woods, so that might be something that would be lovely to see, or if you had the chance to go up there in the evenings. Then there's lots of birds, and I've shown photographs of many of the birds here, so you'll have to see if you can work out which one is which. The spring brings the sound of many breeding birds to the heathland and woodland, such as the evocative call of cuckoo, unusual rodding of the woodcock, melodic song of the willow warbler, and striking song of the skylark. Red kites can be seen in the summer, and ravens later in the year. The National Trust hope that their heathland restoration work will one day bring back the chirring of the nightjars to the heath, and we might even encourage species such as the woodlark to make Kinver Edge their home again. So I've really basically put these largely in order that they're listed. So cuckoo at the top, the slightly blue one, then the woodcock, then the warbler to the left, then over here we've got the skylark, red kites, ravens, nightjars and the woodlark. These are the 2 that they're hoping to attract back. I have been up there with several classes, I think the current year 4s and the current year 5s, and we've seen a buzzard at times, so there's lots you can see up there, and obviously finding out about the bird song of some of these birds is a lovely thing to do as well. Insects. If you visit on a warm day or a balmy evening, the buzz of insects brings home how full of life the heathland habitat is. Over 700 species of moths have been recorded on Kinver Edge, including the angle-striped sallow at its only Staffordshire site, the archer's dart, a sand dune specialist rarely found inland. The summer days bring a host of butterflies such as the white admiral and in the woodland, and the brown argus on the heathland and grassland. There are also nearly 100 species of solitary bees and wasps that can be found nesting in the sandy ground. You might see their holes below your feet. Now you can see lots of holes in the ground, so watch out for those when you go up there. In terms of plants, the plant life brings colour and interest year-round. There's the bright yellow gorse that fills the air with a tropical aroma in spring. Then a wash of purple takes over when the heather blooms in September. You can find plentiful bilberry, that's the bilberry, and heath bedstraw, that's here, and might spot the surprising grey hair grass, a species usually found on sand dune systems in the Norfolk and Suffolk coast. Then there's the fungi that brings colour to the forest floor in autumn. They have quirky names such as greasy tuft shank and scurfy twiglet. Okay, some wonderful names there. So your task for part of this activity is research some of the wildland that you are interested in. Maybe you love the exciting reptiles, the beautiful moths and butterflies, the nocturnal bats or the vibrant plants. Think about where they live, what they eat, their predators. Present your findings in any way you like. You could create a fact file, you could make a video of you talking about them, you could make a PowerPoint, a booklet, a labeled drawing, or any other way you can think of. So do some research. Whatever appeals to you, find out about it. And then perhaps if you're lucky enough to go on Kinver Edge anytime soon, you can see if you can see some of your favourites. And one thing I haven't included here, but did see up on Kinver Edge last year with the year fours, we saw a muntjac, didn't we? Which was a wonderful sight. We weren't quite sure what we'd seen at first, but there are some truly incredible things to see if you're very lucky up on Kinver Edge.